I have a lifelong limiting belief that I'm not as smart as everybody else. I've worked on this. I know it's not true. Intellectually, I know it's not true, but this is like all beliefs, they're not true. They're just sort of indelibly baked into our psyche. So I look around at other people and I see other people's success, and I assume it's because they're much smarter than I am. The reality is, of course, that I have no idea how smart these people are. And also, intellectually, I know I'm not dumb. I know that I am not a stupid person. I know that I am an intelligent person. But that little child in my mind that says, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not clever enough, you don't know enough, that head chatter comes in. And when I see other people who look very successful in what they're doing, it just reinforces that belief. And I have to work hard to kind of talk myself around that, change my perspective, if you like, and try and reframe that belief into something a little bit more useful, I guess. And I tend to do that through affirmations, and I do it through evidence gathering. I have a look back at all the things I've achieved and the things that I've done and the things I know. And sometimes I'll stop and take an inventory of the things I've done, the things I know, just to remind myself that the evidence doesn't match the belief. I don't know if that'll make sense to anybody. The reality is, I've learned this more and more in the last year, 18 months. The majority of coaches are barely making minimum wage. Despite what their Instagram profile is showing, despite how proficient they look on LinkedIn, most coaches are, they are in a real either feast or famine, and they've not got that continuous growth of income coming in. But let me be really, really honest. My training business, when I was working with corporate businesses, I built the business to a very nice level, success in my terms. In my previous business that I closed, sort of started to wind down in April last year, I'd reached a financial level that I was very happy with. And then, of course, I pivoted, changed business, and of course my income dropped. And I was starting again. I wasn't starting entirely from scratch, but I was certainly starting a new business in a new way with a new audience. So I've had to kind of start to build up again. And the old comparisonitis comes back in, doesn't it? It kicks back in, and you start to look around and think, well, I should, and the good old should word, I should be further on than this. I should be making more than this. I should have more consistent customers than this. I should have more consistent income than this. Because also I've had this yardstick from my previous business, or a benchmark, if you like, from my previous business. So I have a personal expectation on myself to be there, and that takes time to build up again. So we're all guilty of this comparisonitis and this sort of lack of perspective, or distorted perception around what the reality is. What's that old saying that comparison is the thief of joy? I think that's probably a bastardized version of the original quote, but it is true. Comparison is the thief. Try that again. Comparison is the thief of joy, because you can't feel good about yourself when you're putting yourself down in relation to people that we don't even know. Bear with me a second. And the reality is, it kind of erodes our self-belief, doesn't it? It just reinforces all of those negative thoughts, that negative head chatter that we have. Because let me tell you about some of this comparisonitis and some of these limiting beliefs. The truth is, do you know what? They keep creeping back. It's like you do a bit of work to try and get rid of them or to diminish them, and then something changes, or you'll read something and they creep back in. And I've learned to accept that is perfectly normal. I just have to keep reminding myself and working back over, reinforcing the more positive narrative that I put in my head. So this wasn't a very long episode, and I hope you found it, I don't know, maybe a little bit relatable. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of peace of mind that, you know, not everything that you see out there is as it seems. And when perhaps you're feeling a little bit of self-doubt, just remember, perspective is everything. And for me, I'm going to stick this photograph of me pointing at the lighthouse just to remind myself that not everything is as it seems. That's it from me. If you've enjoyed it, maybe stick a thumb on the like button, ring the bell so you see what comes up next. And if you've really enjoyed it and you don't want to miss out on future episodes, then why not just hit that subscribe button, and then you'll definitely not miss out. And if you're stuck for something to do next, watch this video.